Hi guys, welcome back. So this is the picture of the before, and now we're going to go ahead and tape down the bottom eyelashes to protect them from touching the top or sticking to the top when we're going to go ahead and apply the eyelash extensions. So you can use an under eye patch instead of the tape, or you can use both. This video I recorded a while ago, so I'm only using tape. Now I actually do prefer to use tape and the under eye patch so it's more gentle on the skin, but I'll hopefully show that soon in another video. So here we Next, I'm brushing it with an eyelash wand to get the eyelashes as straight as possible before I start application. And over here, I have selected the classic eyelashes I'm going to use on her. She wants a very natural look, and that's why we're using mink eyelashes for classic style, which means they're the little bit thicker compared to the volume ones we use. So we use 0.15 mink eyelashes for her, and they are vegan. They're not the animal hair, so it is safe and all the environmental friendly goodness comes along with it. So as you can see, what I just did is split the eye or eyelashes literally in half. That's the dotted line you see, okay? She wants a round shape, so what I did is I divided it in two to be able to see where I'm gonna put my longest lengths of the eyelash extensions to achieve that round shape. And then after I split that whole eyelash line in half, I went ahead with the straight lines, I split it into half and half again. I hope that makes sense. So what that did is actually overall, ignoring the dotted line, splitted the eyelash or the full eyelash strip into three parts. The bigger part in the center is where I'm going to place the longer lengths of the eyelashes, and the inner and outer corners is where I'm going to place the shorter length of the eyelashes, and that's going to give us a nice round natural looking look. And if you can see also in the video, a lot of her all of her natural eyelashes naturally are in a round shape, so you can see that mostly her inner and outer corners are shorter and the center is longer compared to her natural corners, and that's a good indication of which shape is going to look the most natural and the most natural for the client. So if it's their very first time and they want to stick with a very, very natural look, it's better to stick to their natural eyelash shape so they can just see a little bit of an enhancement of length and fullness compared to a whole different look. Okay, so that's why this is what we're trying to achieve for this client. Also, you can see right now I'm isolating to put only one eyelash extension on top of one natural eyelash, and by definition that is the classic style of doing eyelash extensions. That's the first basic way of doing it. So make sure that you are isolating. You are only getting one little eyelash between your tweezers, and you're applying the extension on one little eyelash. Okay, so for some clients like this one, she has a lot of little baby eyelashes, and that's gonna make our lives a little bit harder to be able to isolate, but it is important to go back in there if you do miss your isolation and re-isolate to make sure you don't stick eyelashes together. Again, you just want to isolate, get one natural eyelash in between your tweezers, and then apply the extension on top of that one natural eyelash. Okay, so we're gonna continue filling it until they get really nice and full. And just like that, if you saw when I'm placing it, if the eyelash tilts a little bit to the left or right, before it dries with your tweezers, you can scoot them a little bit left or right to give them direction. and the glue usually takes 1 to 3 seconds to dry once it's attached to the extension and then attached to the natural eyelash. So you do have just like a second to move it in the direction you want until it's dry. And the easiest way to isolate, I get this asked quite a few times, it's from the base of the eyelashes. So from where they're growing out, it's easier to isolate from there compared to trying to do it from the top. Okay, so just keep trying, and what I do is I use both of my hands to help me isolate compared to only trying to do it with the curved tweezer. And in this video I'm using the Yegi regular tweezers. I believe it's the Y1 and Y5 tweezers. The Y5 is the curved one. In the video they're black, now we only make them in silver. People also ask or tell me they use straight tweezers to isolate. So that's okay, that may work for certain eyes, but for the best and most comfort on your hands and to protect your hands from strain for the long run, it is better to use the curved tweezers because it gives you an angle where you can hold the tweezers pretty straight without straining your hand to lift your hand from the forehead in order to be able to isolate. I hope that makes sense. I'll try to do a video with showing what I mean, but I just remembered people kept on asking that, so I wanted to cover that for this video. But again, the best way or the right way is to use the curved tweezers to isolate and straight tweezers to apply. And the straight tweezers goes in your dominant hand and the curved tweezers goes in your other hand. So if you're right-handed, the straight goes in your right and the curved goes in your left. If you're left-handed, the straight goes in your left and the curved goes in your right. Okay, and in the video you can also see a little glue ring. If this is the first video of mine you're watching, what I do is I use a glue ring to hold the glue right close to where I'm working just to expedite the process. So the faster I apply, the more I can get on there and the more efficient I can be with my time and my clients' time, so they can be in and out of there fairly quickly without getting frustrated that they have to lay there for a really long time. For this video, I am using the Yegi mink eyelashes, and they are vegan again, but I'm using them in the 0.15 thickness and in 12 millimeters for the center part and 10 millimeters for the inner and outer corners. But normally you do want to use about 3 lengths, I believe. Oh yeah, you do want to use 3 lengths for the best results or for the smoothest transition, but 2 lengths works too, as you can see, if you want to keep things simple, as you can see in this video, and at the end results that they still look really pretty with just 2 lengths. And in a second, you can see as I'm applying, although the isolation should be between my two tweezers, if there's an eyelash that is not touching any other eyelash as I'm moving them aside, then it's okay to place it on that. But our main goal with the isolation, no matter how you do it, is to make sure that when you're sticking the eyelash extension on top of the natural eyelash, it's only sticking to one natural eyelash and they're not getting stuck together, because the natural eyelashes have different growth lengths. So if you do stick too many things together, they end up damaging the natural eyelash and pulling each other out as one is growing out if the other one is not ready to grow. Okay, but they are 100% safe, and the most important thing for lash artists is for us to make sure we do a good clean job and take our time to isolate. And besides that, they do not damage the natural eyelashes. Of course, the clients also have to take care of them, as in cleanliness and washing them and maintaining them. But besides that, if everybody kind of does what they're supposed to, then they do not damage them and people can get them for years. I mean, I personally have been getting them for a long time. I want to say at least 5 years now, continuously. They are starting to get nice and full, but I want to keep in mind that I'm not going to stop just because they're starting to look nice and full. We're going to go ahead and try to put it on every single natural eyelash so they can last as long as possible, because the more you put, the longer it lasts, because daily they lose a couple, or 1 to 5 daily people lose. So if we put more on there, the longer it's going to last for the client. Okay. You can see right there, as I'm trying to place it, I see there is a baby hair attached to it, eyelash extension, and you saw how I detached it. I never want to leave it like that, and I want to go through and catch it if I do see that anything is attached. Now I'm going to go back and search and make sure nothing else is attached, and add more extensions as needed to the sparse to the natural eyelashes that don't have extensions. If it doesn't stick right, I'm going to take it out and I'm going to try again with the new lash. I never want to keep trying with the same eyelash because the glue is drying and it's just not going to stick or bond as well. Now I kind of take a look of how they look with classic, and honestly in this video I had decided for her, even though she wanted really natural, I used my judgment that even though she wants really natural, they're going to be a little bit too sparse, because naturally she doesn't have a lot of natural eyelashes with just classic. So I decided, and I'm adding in some more pre-made fans now to give it more of a hybrid look. So this would be considered a hybrid application. So now for the rest of it, I'm going to go in and add these 3D eyelashes. So you can see in these little fans, there's only 3 little hairs attached, and that's what makes it 3D. Okay, if in that pre-made fan there is 4, then that means it's 4D eyelash. So that's how we determine it. And again, anytime something doesn't attach straight, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure they are straight. And with the pre-made fans, they do take tiny bit longer to dry compared to the classic eyelash, so make sure you do keep your isolation open a little bit longer before you let go so they don't stick together. Oh, and the reason why I chose to use the 3D eyelashes compared to 40, 50, or 60, or even 70 is because I do still want to keep her eyelashes looking really, really natural. So the smallest fan we have is the 3D, so that's what I'm going to use. And these are the Yegi pre-made fans to make them look a little bit fuller, yet still having a pretty much classic look, but actually doing a hybrid application. Now I'm gonna brush them to see how they're looking. And of course you can add as many of her as her natural eyelashes. You can add classic and pre-made fans to make them look nice and full. But here's the after of how her natural eyelashes are. As you can see, they're still very, very natural. You can see the little fans in between to give that little bit fluffier look.